So the Dropbox stuff it's going. I'm currently working on Doctor Who right now. I'm going in alphabetical order. Um, Turns out, what's funny? I said I had copies of most things from One Hub. Turns out I had copies of every episode of Doctor Who except for episode 7. I don't know why, but I didn't have episode 7. But again, luckily I was able to download the stuff from OneHub, so I do now, and that one's already up. But anyway, today we are going to react to Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids. We did a couple episodes of this last October. The episode we're going to do today is called The Spaghetti Man.
You are welcome to Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids, a series of cautionary tales for lovers of scream. I bet you don't know where spaghetti comes from.
I don't.
I grow my own.
You sure do.
I call this tale The Spaghetti Man.
Oh god. I can only imagine how this is gonna go.
There is a shop in Venice that never opens, and yet the place is not deserted. Once a year, in the absolute deadest part of night, a giant silver pasta machine grinds into action. In the kitchen, Mrs. King was having the usual problem. "I don't want that muck," shouted Timothy. "It makes me want to be sick."
Ugh.
"Hold fire, lad, hold fire," whispered Mr. King. But Timothy was in no mood to hold fire. He shut his eyes and held his breath. "Your food won't go away just because you've closed your eyes," sobbed his mother. "Then I shall make it go away," said Timothy as he picked up his plate and threw it at the sink. The food hit the window with a splat and slid down the glass.
Bro, that's probably mad he's got that
into the
haircut.
goldfish bowl. In case you're in any doubt, Timothy was a hideous, squealing, mealtime monster who wouldn't eat his food.
Cut his hair, maybe he'll be happier.
Somebody needed to teach him a lesson.
I know I'm one to talk, but at least I got a goddamn bolt cut.
Timothy heard the latch click on the front door. "Who's there?" said Mr. King. There was no reply. Timothy heard the creak of new leather as a pair of heavy boots walked towards the kitchen across the wooden floor in the hall. Mrs. King was too upset to have heard anything. Timothy saw the long black shadow as it passed the light outside the cellar door. "This is no time for jokes," shouted Mr. King, rising from his chair nervously. "I was in the army, you know, trained to kill and all that. But when shouted Mr. King,
Wait, she's
rising
gone.
from his chair nervously. "I was in the army,
And
you
now
know,
she's back.
trained to kill and all that. But when Mr. King pulled the door open, there was nobody there."
Ah!
Mr. King went into the hall to investigate, taking Mrs. King with him just in case there was any trouble. Timothy was
What
left
the
on his own. A paper napkin slid off the edge of the table as if somebody had just brushed past it. And Timothy thought he could smell flour. No, he was sure he could smell flour and baking, the sort of smell you get when you go out for a pizza. He wanted to scream, but he couldn't. There was a hand over his mouth, and something was scratching his cheek. No, not something, lots of things, like long fingernails. Only they weren't as thick as fingernails. They were more like sticks or pins or...
What is that face?
Spaghetti! That was the smell! Then his parents came back into the room and the smell went away. "I think we've just had a visit from the Spaghetti Man," said his mother.
The Spaghetti Man.
"Who?" said Timothy. Children who don't eat their food are pacified in his factory, she explained. So I'd eat up if I were you. Boulder Dash, he sneered.
Not
He
pacified.
carried on, behaving badly.
Did he already throw that?
I want to go to the loo. Not in the middle of breakfast. This isn't breakfast. This is a cow pat. And he left the table without asking to get down. Mrs. King had finally had enough.
Let's go.
She grabbed Timothy by the seat
Bro,
of
he's
his pants,
peeing.
frog marched him back to the table, and told him that he could sit there
In the middle of
all
his piss?
day for all she cared until he had finished his toast. Timothy sat there all day. In fact, he sat there all the next day as well.
How does bro...
On the
What does he
morning
eat?
of the third day,
He doesn't like
Mr.
toast?
King went off to work as usual, and Mrs. King went shopping. After she'd gone, Timothy waited a whole second before scampering upstairs for revenge. He'd just put the plug in the bath
What can bro
and
actually
was
eat?
turning on the taps when he heard the latch click on the front door. Ha ha, she was back. Wait till she saw the flood. As the water rose in the bath, he heard the squeak of her new leather boots climbing the stairs.
Uh-oh.
As he turned the taps up to full power, he saw her shadow creep under the door. He laughed triumphantly as the first drop of water splashed over the rim and the bathroom door was flung open. See, I'm never eating toast again, shouted
Toast?
Timothy. But he was shouting to himself because there was nobody there. Just that smell again of flour and baking and spaghetti.
He's gonna get pacified.
Timothy awoke to find himself in a room full of children with grumpy faces.
Those are
and
not
labels
children.
on their coats. Tall, thin children were marked up as spaghetti.
Those are grown-ass
Ones
adults.
had macaroni written all over them, and the little kids were labelled as faster pasta. He looked down at his own. Lasagna, he wailed. Yuck! Absolutely my all-time worst food ever! He leapt onto a table. Cheer up, he shouted. No way are we going to be turned into pasta. The Spaghetti Man is just a story that our mums and dads made up to make us eat our food.
Bro, you
It's
literally
a
got
joke,
teleported.
And I'm going home. Guess who I'm having for dinner tonight? Laughed the Spaghetti Man. It was a cruel laugh that made the children suddenly wish they weren't there. But of course, they were.
They're getting pacified.
Meal times without Timothy were never the same again. They were quieter. Mrs. King was rather pleased, and Mr. King hadn't noticed that Timothy was missing. So Mrs. King never told him. Thank you, dear. Their lives
What
went
the
on
fuck?
pretty much as normal. Mr. King went off to work, and Mrs. King stayed at home and prepared their evening meal.
This doesn't exactly make them the baby
Tonight,
faces.
It's lasagna!
Oh my god, they ate Timothy.
I'm delicious. Oh, I'm sorry. How rude of me. Have you met little Jimmy Jones?
I have now.
Like him. Needs a touch more parmesan, but otherwise very tasty.
Or just all the Parmesan.
Whoops! I'm all fingers and thumbs today. Or rather, I'm not.
Lord. You know, I was kind of with the parents until the end. It's like, our son's gone. We do not care. We do not care. I wonder. It kind of explains a little bit. I wonder why he was acting out so much. Maybe it's because his dad literally did not know of his existence. That could have had something to do with it. But at the same time, how did bro not starve to death? What did he actually eat? Like, toast? Who doesn't eat toast? Like, I've never heard of anybody not liking toast. Like, even a little kid. It's toast. Come on, man. That had to be probably... I looked for the old recommendations on the comments to our videos of this to see which ones to watch, and somebody described this as one of the more effed up episodes. Definitely had to have been. Surely. I mean, kid got turned to spaghetti and his parents ate him. Or lasagna, I'm sorry. They should have called him Lasagna Man. Alright, well that's it for the Lasagna Man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to leave it a like. If you didn't like it, don't. If you want to follow any of my social media links, they're all in the video description, as well as names on my Patrons. If you didn't know, my Patrons are all named in the video description. You can be a patron on me for as little as $1 or £1. And you get extra direction videos, as well as getting your name in the video description. With all that being said, though, my name is Tantrum. It's been at my third direction of Gruesome Tales for Grizzly Kids. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Or is it Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids? No, it's Gruesome Tales, right? No, it's Grizzly Tales, isn't it? Yeah, it's Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids. Yeah. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.